Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome all our lovely kids for this historic Heroes Weekend. It's so lovely to learn about our history. It's so fascinating. It's so mysterious. And there's so much of learning. In fact, they say that if you forget your history, history will repeat itself. So we need to learn from the stories of our past. And today we have His Grace, Sridhama Prabhu, who will be sharing some very interesting stories with all of us. Sridhama Prabhu has got his name from Sridhama, who was Krishna's best friend. Like all of you all have best friends, Krishna's best friend was Sridhama. And whenever Krishna felt like stealing butter, the first call, not the mobile call, but they had their own communicating systems, used to go to Sridhama. And they used to plan all the robbery, I would say. So like Sridhama Prabhuji is also very fond of children. In fact, he and his wife have a special affection for children. I remember seeing dramas which were performed by children completely, which was directed by them. In fact, my daughter was part of those dramas too. That's why I have some very fond memories. The kids zone, which you see in the yatra, Prabhuji and Mataji are very, very actively involved. In fact, they are part of the leadership team at the temple to take care of children. And they have some very, very exciting plans for you, which will unfold very, very soon. So we are very happy to have Prabhuji with us. And for kids, grandparents are very special. So Sridhama Prabhu is going to introduce us to our spiritual grandfather, that is Srila Prabhupada, who introduced us to Krishna in a more meaningful manner. So let's hear some fascinating stories about Srila Prabhupada, which I'm sure we might have not heard from Sridhama Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for joining us. And I'm sure kids are going to have a great time today hearing you. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very, very much, Dalu Ram Prabhu, for that introduction. My dear kids, how are you? I'm so happy to see all of you. Such a pleasure to see all your bright faces and happy disposition. So we will begin our Warrior Weekend, as they have called it. Before I start, I would like to invoke blessings, auspiciousness. All of you can join your hands if you want. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So very, very happy to be with all of you. It's a very, very interesting topic about Srila Prabhupada, who is the spiritual warrior for all of us. Yes, this is okay. You all can see me? Yes? Deepak ji?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji, we can see you, we can hear you. No problem, please.
Okay, good. I just changed some settings, so I was just not sure. Okay, so welcome everybody, and please, my dear friends, for the next 1 hour, I request you all not to be talking to anybody. Just focus on your screen, and there will be also some questions that I'll be asking you, which you can reply on your chat box. Do not use the chat box for anything else. No Hare Krishnas, nothing, please. Nobody will use the chat box anymore. Is it okay? Nobody uses chat box anymore. We are just going to sit, not be fidgety, not keep on using your hands on the machine, and just here you will enjoy it for sure. So this is a the warrior weekend, and I just wanted to ask you all that as a warrior, what are the qualities required? You all know what is a warrior. Yeah, what's a warrior? Who is a warrior? Warrior is a person who fights, right? Who does you know, battles, who really organizes battles, and who takes part of in the battles. So a warrior, what are the qualities in the next 3 minutes or 2 minutes rather? I want to hear from you. Please get on the chat. What are the qualities required to be a good warrior? I want people to type 1, 2, 3 qualities that they think the qualities required to be a good warrior. A warrior, as I said, yes, they need to be brave. Warrior is a person who fights, who really organizes wars, who establishes something, and he needs to be fearless. Yes, he needs to be brave, not be greedy. Yes, he needs to be honest, strong. He needs to be tolerant, spiritual, brave, strategic. Very nice. Strategic is an interesting point. Strong, honest, determined. Yes. Learn from how to use weapons. Ha, very nice. Sanskruti. Wants to lay down their lives for others. Honest, kind, intelligent. Very nice. Go ahead. Please type more. A warrior should be determined. Very nice. Confident, strong, aggressive, being, oh, very nice. Strong. Oh, you guys are writing very fast. I'm so proud of you. This is very interesting. Courageous, brave, shrewd. Okay, I've lost track of the way you're writing so fast. Disciplined, capable of handling, patient, loyal. Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, my dear friends. I'm going to be clapping for all of you. Thank you very much. But I think we can stop. We can stop. This is fantastic. Yes, so warrior needs all these qualities. Now tell me one thing. The word spiritual warrior, is it usually seen? Does spirituality and warrior usually go together? Yes or no? Just answer me in yes or no. Does spirituality and warrior go together? No, yes, no, yes, no. so I mean, we are getting mixed responses. People are saying, many people are saying no. Okay, no. Fine. Yes. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You all are really responsive people. Very responsive. I thank you all very much. So usually warrior and spiritual warrior, they don't go together, because most of the time the understanding is everybody can on their videos, please. I would like to see them. I would like to see people. Okay. Yeah. So usually spirituality and being a warrior do not go together, because spirituality is usually considered to that somebody is very peaceful, somebody is very ahimsa, and they don't really fight wars. They don't really do any harm. So usually it is it is not seen going in line with spirituality. But we are going to discuss about one such powerful person who is a spiritual warrior. Yes, stop it, stop. I think stop using your chat now. I got my answer. Yes, thank you. I got my answer. So we are going to be discussing about one person who is Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, he was a very, very good warrior, spiritual warrior. And one of the things that one of the child wrote is that you need to be very strategic when you are a warrior. Strategy is required, and I like that word very much. You need to have the right strategy to really achieve something. And here is what I wanted to really say, that Prabhupada had a beautiful strategy, and we're going to discuss beautiful stories about this strategy. So Srila Prabhupada, when he was in the year 1922, we know this famous story. Prabhupada in the year 1922 met his commander-in-chief. Every warrior has this commander. So Srila Prabhupada met his commander-in-chief, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he said, you should go to the west, because that's where we need to call a war. Because please understand, my dear friends, where does a warrior go? The warrior goes where there are enemies. Warrior will not fight where there are no enemies. Yes or no? Yes. Will a warrior fight where there are no enemies? No, warrior doesn't need to go there. But a warrior will go where he will fight where there are enemies. And the nucleus, or the main place where there was a fight required to establish spirituality. And what is the enemy that we're talking about? Spiritually, the enemy that we're talking about is the enemy of ignorance, avidya. My dear friends, please listen to me very carefully. The enemy that we all are fighting as spiritual warriors, and the fighting that Prabhupada did as a spiritual warrior, is the enemy of ignorance, avidya. Do you all agree? I want to hear from you. Do you all agree that ignorance is the biggest enemy? Is ignorance the biggest enemy? Dhruvi, very nice. Thank you so much. Ignorance. Very good. Yes. Ignorance is the biggest enemy, because if we do not have knowledge, then all the problems start. Right? So ignorance is the biggest. So now ignorance, what type of ignorance? What Prabhupada wanted to establish is the major ignorance in the world is that people didn't know who they are. We've asked people who you are. They say, well, I'm an Indian. Well, I'm American. I'm a boy. I'm a girl. I'm in 8th standard. I'm in 12th standard. But that changes. A boy in 8th standard will go to the 9th standard tomorrow. So again, he will say he's in 9th standard. An Indian can go to America and get American citizenship, and he becomes an American. So that changes. Nowadays, a boy can become a girl can become a boy. You can change. So everything can change. So Prabhupada was wanting to attack the greatest enemy, my dear friends. The greatest enemy is Avidya. The headquarters of Avidya. The headquarters. The main place where Avidya was ruling. And from that main place, it spread its power all over. The headquarters at that time was New York. How many of you have been to New York? Anybody? Okay. Few of you have been. I'm sure all of you have not been, but you must have seen New York. You must have seen what America is all about. I'm born in Michigan. Okay, very good. Thank you so much, my dear friends. Yes, okay, fine. So America, headquarters is the New York City, because there's so much of intense bombardment of materialism. You understand materialism? It's so much bombardment of trying to enjoy separate from God. And if you go, of course I'm not saying only New York, it's all over the world. But in the early 60s, Srila Prabhupada decided that if I want to really establish and be a powerful spiritual warrior and establish knowledge, because what is the opposite of avidya is knowledge. If I want to establish knowledge, then I need to bombard, I need to throw bombs in the headquarters of avidya, and that is New York. And that is why what we know is Prabhupada did the first Hare Krishna explosion. Okay, so I'll use this word. That there's a book called Hare Krishna Explosion written by Hayagriva Das, Hayagriva Prabhu, Prabhupada's disciple. He wrote this book, Hare Krishna Explosion. So let's discuss this Hare Krishna explosion and how Prabhupada really became such a powerful warrior and how this explosion grew. So here was a person who was a brilliant strategist. He was told by his commander-in-chief, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that you should go to the West to really establish Krishna consciousness all over the world, because you have to attack the nucleus, you have to attack the headquarters of avidya. And Prabhupada decided that he will attack New York. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati didn't tell him to go to New York. He said you should go to the Western world. But Prabhupada decided. So he was a very good strategist. So please understand, my dear friends, the first quality required, if you are making some notes, if you want to be a spiritual warrior, you need to have a good strategy. So Srila Prabhupada saw that the influence of America and New York was maximum in the world. What happens in New York is it has effect all over the world. So as a very good strategist, Srila Prabhupada decided that he wants to go to America and attack the main nucleus of avidya. So Prabhupada went there. He was alone. But what is another quality required? But Prabhupada had another quality required along with strategy. If you're making notes, you can write down, is courage. Many of you wrote down that quality, courage. You need a lot of courage. So Prabhupada was very, very courageous. I want to share with you, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was a great fighter. So Bruce Lee has said that we should not pray for easy life. We should pray for endure a difficult one. Very nice statement, right? We should not pray for easy life. But we should pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. So please understand, for a warrior, whether it is a spiritual warrior or a material warrior or a soldier or whatever different warriors you're talking about, that warrior, the fight is not easy at all. It's very, very difficult. So you need a lot of courage. So Srila Prabhupada, right from 1922 till 1965 was preparing. So you need to prepare. You need to be a strategist. You need to prepare your war strategy. So Srila Prabhupada prepared his war strategy. He actually said, okay, let me now prepare. So he wrote books. Srila Prabhupada wrote many, many books. And these books, my dear friends, were actually, anybody can compare what are the books in spiritual warrior. The books are compared to what? Anybody can think. Books will be like what? What are books compared to? Anybody can write. Books will be like what? A warrior uses weapons, Vedas. Yes, somebody said weapons. I like it. So no, I want, so books are compared to nuclear bombs. Fantastic. You guys are very good. I'm so proud of you. So Prabhupada, yes, time bomb. Very nice. Very nice. You people are brilliant. I'm so proud of you. Yes, you can stop. You can stop. You can stop. Stop the chat. Thank you so much. So Prabhupada prepared bombs because he knew that if you want to rage a war, you need to drop boom, boom, boom. You drop bombs, and if he needs to destroy Avidya, he needs to drop the bombs of knowledge. But for the bombs of knowledge, just but for the bombs of knowledge, you need to prepare the bomb, right? So Prabhupada prepared from 1959 till 1965. He was preparing the bombs. You know, where was he preparing the bombs? Anybody knows where did Prabhupada prepare the initial bomb of in the headquarters of spirituality? The headquarters of spirituality is Vrindavan. Yes, somebody wrote Vrindavan. Very good. So Prabhupada prepared the bombs in the headquarters of spirituality in Vrindavan. He wrote, but along with writing, he said that, okay, now, I need courage. So he had so much courage. Prabhupada was 70 years old, but he was very determined, very courageous. He said, I want to go. So Prabhupada decided, it's a long story. We are not going to tell the story. We all know that Prabhupada went on the Jaladuta, he went to America. And because he had so much courage, alone, he faced so many difficulties. So many difficulties. Because please understand, if you go to a country alone, without any money, without any help, it is not easy. But Prabhupada had a lot of courage. And along with courage, along with strategy, Prabhupada had the determination that I want to really do something for the world. I want to remove the avidya. We need to rage a war. Yes, like Swami Vivekananda. Yes, very much. So, can you tell some of the problems in Prabhupada? Some of the problems that Prabhupada faced? Is that what you're asking me? So, yes, we are going to discuss that. So, when Prabhupada reached America, first of all, when he reached, it is not very easy. So on the way, he had many heart attacks. Yes, somebody related heart attacks. He had heart attacks. He was in a ship. Please understand, one, you want to go on a ship for 45 minutes, it is nice. Oh, you want to ride, you want to ride. But to be in a ship for months, it is not easy. So Prabhupada was on a ship. He was an old man. He had heart attacks. So many problems. So warrior faces a lot of problems, but what makes the warrior keep on doing what he wants to do? What is it that is required in a warrior? Why he continues to do? Being a warrior, suppose you want the border, you want, there are warriors on the in the Himalayas. What happens? How can they continue doing what? Yes, you need determination. Naman Pandey, thank you so much. So you need determination. So Prabhupada was determined. A warrior needs to be determined. He said, I have to achieve this. He is goal focused. Yes, Tulsi Gopi, sorry. So like that, Prabhupada was determined. And then first he established his own office, of what you call a control room. In when you fight a war, you have a control room. From that room, you control all your strategies, you control all your activities, you control all the things that you want to achieve. So Prabhupada said, I need ultimately a place where I can sit and do things. So Prabhupada started a small shop, which was like a control room. And that shop was called Matchless Gift. You all know that. Matchless Gift Shop. He took it and they used to conduct lectures there. Now, please tell me, in that Matchless Gift, Prabhupada used what they call the Hare Krishna bullets. The Hare Krishna bullets. Prabhupada would shoot everybody with the Hare Krishna bullets. Does anyone know what are these Hare Krishna bullets? Please write on the chat. Does anyone know what are these Hare Krishna bullets? No, not Mahamantra. No, no lectures. No, no. Ah, who is that? Dhanya. Very nice. Very nice. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, okay, I got my answer. So please, my dear friends, this is a very interesting story. Prabhupada said, see, if people come here, I need to shoot them. What does the warrior do? What does the warrior do? He needs to shoot. But a spiritual warrior doesn't use a gun. He doesn't have a, he doesn't shoot with guns. He's not that you're sitting on a Vyasasana and Prabhupada having a gun. No, never that, never like that. So Prabhupada had a very good strategy. He was a brilliant warrior. So what he made, he had a big jar. Okay? He had a big jar at the entrance. When somebody enters at the entrance, he had a big jar. And in that big jar, he had what we call gulab jamuns. How many of you love gulab jamuns? Just say a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. No, no chat, thumbs up. Thumbs up, 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 thumbs up. Yes. So everyone loves gulab jamuns. Yes, very nice. So please understand the another name of gulab jamuns. Yes, I got the answer. They were all of you. Another name of gulab jamuns is the Hare Krishna bullets. What will you call it? The Hare Krishna bullets. So Prabhupada said he would make a big jar and there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gulab jamuns. So people would come, and the people who were around in New York, they were drug addicts, alcoholics, crazy people. You know of them. They were very young people who come and they didn't know what's happening. But everyone likes to eat good food. Yes, everyone likes to. And gulab jamuns are very easy. Pop, 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 pop. You can just pop in, right? Like the small balls, pum, 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 pum. But they didn't know that by doing this pom 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 pom, they're getting shot. People would come and just pop in gulab jamun and they would go out. Again, they would come and they pop in and they would go out. They would come in, pop in and go out. But slowly, 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 and slowly, they realized that this gulab jamun was making effect because it was a powerful Hare Krishna bullet. What was this bullet? Prabhupada had made it with so much of love. Prabhupada put his so much love and compassion in making these gulab jamuns, making balls. And then he had offered it to Krishna. And it was Krishna's mercy. So when that mercy of Krishna means what? The mercy of Krishna means that thing which removes the avidya from your heart. The avidya from the heart is removed. So Prabhupada made this and offered it to Krishna, and he said, Krishna, please put all your mercy in this gulab jamuns. And then when people ate this, they were actually eating, but they didn't know that they were getting completely rid, slowly, slowly, unknowingly, of all the avidya that they had. And they started getting attracted to Krishna, attracted to Krishna, attracted to Krishna. So Prabhupada was using the ISKCON bullets or the Hare Krishna bullets, which was gulab jamuns. And people would eat it. So please, there's a beautiful story I would like to share also briefly of Radhanath Swami. Radhanath Swami also used because prasadam is a powerful way, is a powerful bullet. Actually, I'll tell the story later. I'll just continue with Prabhupada's story. So Prabhupada used these bullets and people would eat it, and they realized that their hearts were changing. Slowly, slowly, the avidya was going. So please understand, my dear friends, when you say Srila avidya jal jadendriya tahekal jiva phale visay sagare tara madhe jivati. Prayers? Yes, Haripriya, you chant prasadam prayers? Yes, Tulsi Gopi, you chant prasadam prayers? Right? What does the prasadam prayers really say? Tanishka, you chant prasadam prayers? So what does the prasadam prayers really talk about? He says that when you eat the prasadam, very good. When you eat the prasadam, slowly, slowly, all the avidya will go away from your heart. So Prabhupada would feed everybody nice prasad, and even if people would not come to eat prasad in the control room, as we call it, the matchless gift shop, the control room, but then people would eat gulab jamuns, and slowly the 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 knowledge started spreading in their system, and they got all the avidya was slowly going, and then they said, we all want to be devotees. Ah, so Prabhupada started, he was a one-man army when he went to America. But slowly, slowly, a good warrior, what does he do? He starts recruiting people, because you need a big army, yes or no? If you want to fight a big war, you need a big army, yes? So Prabhupada started generating an army, and he started recruiting people, and many people came, and then the first to join was Hayagriva Prabhu, then Mukunda Maharaj, and so many other people joined. And then this is going to be very interesting. Please, my dear friends, it's very exciting now. We have captured one place in America, New York. We have tried to spread Krishna consciousness. Now we need to go to other place. And he said, we need to spread Krishna consciousness because New York in America, my dear friends, is on the East Coast. He said, now we need to spread Krishna consciousness in the West Coast also. And that is why he went to San Francisco. You all know this place, San Francisco. So he went to San Francisco. And then he started spreading Krishna consciousness. He had a control room there, he had a temple. We will call temples at control rooms, okay, in our lecture today. So he had temples and he control rooms, and he started spreading Krishna consciousness there. And many, many, many people became devotees. But you know what? Which was the place where Prabhupada really, really wanted to spread Krishna consciousness? Of course, he wanted to spread it all over the world, no doubt about it. But his personal desire, my dear friends, Prabhupada wanted to spread. Anybody can guess where was Prabhupada wanted to really spread Krishna consciousness? Washington? No, 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 no. Please don't guess. Give a proper answer. China, Russia, New York. No, no, you are wrong. Paris. No, 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 no. Whole world, yes. Who is this Tulsi Gopi? London. Okay, Tulsi Gopi, tell me why you say London. Stop. I again stop. Tulsi Gopi and Nrsimha, what is that? Sanskruti. Why you say London? Adi Lakshma. Yeah, many people are saying London. Why London? Yes. So I'll tell you the story. Prabhupada, before he became a devotee, my dear friends, please listen. Before Prabhupada was a nationalist. And that time, India was being ruled by the Britishers. And the Britishers ruled India for many, many years. And Prabhupada, of course, from a nationalist, he became a spiritualist after he met his guru. But in his heart, he always felt that the Britishers did so much of injustice to Indians. And they took so much of their wealth from India. India was very rich. These Britishers took so much of everything from India, and they made India apparently very poor. Yes, Navneet, you are right. British took from everything from India, but they forgot to take spirituality. So Prabhupada wanted to teach and give the British for last so many hundreds of years. In his heart, he was thinking, now we need in London. This is the strategy. A good warrior makes a good strategy. And he made a strategy that now we need to plan to attack. Where started capturing people. San Francisco, we started capturing people. Yes, breaking. Is it okay now? Is it okay? Is the voice okay? Well, you need somebody is still breaking. Yes, yes. Okay, better. Sometimes internet goes ups and down. What to do? So Prabhupada said, I want to spend, and then Prabhupada was a brilliant spiritual warrior. He said, well, I did on my own in America, but I will send my army. What he said? I will send my army to really capture London. Is it still cracking, my dear friends? Is it still? Hare Krishna. Can somebody tell me? Can somebody tell me? Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's perfectly fine. No worries.
You can hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Absolutely. Very clearly.
Sorry, I think that it is cracking, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, Prabhuji, the network is a little weak, but that's fine. We can hear you.
Okay. Sorry. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay. Okay, please tolerate it for some time.
It's
I
fine.
think it's
It's
getting
fine
better.
now. It's fine, Prabhuji. It's absolutely fine now.
Okay, great. So now then Prabhupada decided that I want to have a Hare Krishna explosion in London. So he made a strategy, called his, and he called and then selected six people to be the army. Okay, so all of you please remember, he called these six people, and the six people were three couples. The three couples where anybody knows the three couples. Come on, quickly, write down if you know the three couples. What six people? Come on, quickly. I want to hear. Please write down. Don't ask your parents, please. You are right if you know. I can see somebody asking their parents. Yes, no, Hayagri was not there. Sam, well, Shyamasundar Prabhu, yes, Shamsundar Prabhu and Malti Mataji, very nice. Who else? Shamsundar and Malti, then Gurudas and Jamuna, and no. Yeah, so there were six people: Shamsundar Prabhu, Gurudas Prabhu, and Mukunda Maharaj, that is Mike, and then Jamuna, Janaki, and Malati. So he called them and said, I want you all, whatever I've taught you, now you go and create a Hare Krishna explosion in London. So this is very exciting. Yeah, Gurudas, Mataji, and Shamsundar, and Malti Mataji. So he said, you create the Hare Krishna explosion in London. So they went. My dear friends, they didn't have any money. Prabhupada was very poor at that time. There was no money. So you needed some money to show to enter into a country. So what happened? So one person, please understand how they did it. So difficulty they went through. So one person went to London. Mother, what are you doing? So one person went to London with that money. He went, entered the money. They sent the money back to America. The second person came with the same money. They sent that money back to America. The third person came, the fourth person, the fifth person, sixth person, like that, because they didn't have money for all six people. So they came to, they came to America. They came to London, and where were the six people staying? And of course, by this time, Shamsundar and Malti had a small, tiny daughter. Her name was, anybody knows? Saraswati. Very tiny daughter. So please understand, there were 6 + 1, 7 people. and they came to London. They're very, very poor. They were staying in cardboard boxes. And they were staying under huge pipes. They didn't have a house to stay. But what had Prabhupada trained them? Please listen to this very carefully. Prabhupada had trained them. You have to think big. You have to attack and think big. And if you capture a big person, automatically everybody else becomes a devotee. So the idea was to capture a big person. Now, who was the big person? The big person at that time were the Beatles, George Harrison and his company. So Shyamasundar Prabhu, Gurudas Prabhu, and Mukunda Maharaj were sitting and they were discussing. He was not Maharaj that time, he was a Grihastha. He said, if at all we want to capture London, then we need to make George Harrison a devotee. So they said, well, George Harrison is such a big person. How can we even meet him? Well, we can try. So please understand, if you are a warrior, quality required is to be strategist, be courageous, be determined, and to always think big. Even all of you, my dear friends, in your studies, you are actually warrior. You want to achieve things. You are sometimes what is called pariksha warrior. You are exam warriors. Yeah. So you want to achieve something, then you have to think really big. You cannot think small. You have to think big, because if you think big, you achieve that big thing. So these people were trained by Prabhupada and said that we will somehow meet George Harrison. Now, George Harrison was the most biggest famous musician in the world at that time. So it was impossible to meet George Harrison, but they planned. And these people have no money. But you don't need money to achieve things. What you need the desire, and you need intelligence. Buddhi, buddhi, buddhi. Idhar. ये चाहिए थोड़ा. ये use करने का. बुद्धि use करने का. So they sat and they made a strategy. Okay. So they used the intelligence. They said, you know what? In the next 3 days, it is George Harrison's birthday. Wow. George Harrison's birthday. And his studio was called the Apple Studio. Not the Apple machines or Apple phones at that time, but it was called Apple Studio. So Shyamasundar Prabhu was such a brilliant person. I think all of you should read his book, Shooting Rhinos with the Swami. All of you, please read the book. Ask your parents to tell you to read that book. Shyamasundar Prabhu is such an amazingly dynamic person. Even now he's around. So he thought only big things. He said, shooting rhinos with the Swami. Rhinos means to do big things. So he said that, okay, he told his wife, you please make a beautiful cake. And on the cake, they made a logo of the apple. And he took and he entered. So now, and who will give him entry? He went outside the studio, but he was not known, and nobody knew nobody knew him. So Samadhi, he was waiting outside. There was a room full of hundreds and hundreds of people. And you know what? All of them were waiting to meet George Harrison. They were all very big people, and they had got big, big gifts. But when you are a spiritual warrior, along with a strategy, courage, determination, what we all have, and what Prabhupada had was Krishna's mercy. The greatest thing that a spiritual warrior has is what? Krishna's mercy. So Shyamasundar Prabhu and all the devotees, they had tremendous Krishna's mercy. So when he went there were hundreds of people. Please understand, these are Prabhupada's spiritual warriors, disciples. Very beautiful. Prabhupada is empowering them. As a commander-in-chief, Prabhupada got empowered by Bhakti Siddhanta, and then Prabhupada is further empowering his disciples, and they are becoming spiritual warriors. So he was in the room with hundreds of people, and they were all hundreds. Please understand, hundreds of people waiting to meet one person, George Harrison. And George Harrison opened the door, and then peeped out. he peeped out and he saw hundreds of people. But in the hundreds of people, whom did he see? He saw Syama Sundar Prabhu, because Syama Sundar Prabhu was wearing a dhoti and a kurta and wearing a tilak. So he saw, and he again closed the door. And then after some time, the door opened and George Harrison started walking in the room straight. And Syama Sundar Prabhu was right at the behind. He was right behind. He walked. And does anyone know where did he walk? Where did George Harrison straight walk? Did he meet all the 100 people? Yes or no? He didn't meet the 100 people. Where did he go? Syama Sundar Prabhu, yes, he straight walked. He ignored all the 100 people. And does anyone know what was the first line that Syama Sundar Prabhu spoke to George Harrison spoke to Syama Sundar Prabhu? Does anyone know? If you know, you write. I'm giving you 30 seconds. No, he didn't say who are you. No. No, he didn't say Hare Krishna. No, he didn't say what I'm wearing. You know, the first question he asked, please listen to me carefully now. Don't write in the chat. Just listen to me. Listen on the, see on the screen. The first question that George Harrison asked Syama Sundar Prabhu is, where have you all been? I have been looking for you. Aha! He said, where have you all been? I have been looking for you. So what had happened is, my dear friends, you know, there was some audio recording which was done by Jamuna Mataji. That audio recording, which was done in America, some or the other reached George Harrison, and he heard it, and he was so attracted by the Hare Krishna Mahamantra tune. And he had seen the devotees chanting on the streets. So please understand, devotees Mahamantra, Prasadam, or devotees you see on the street, or devotees distributing books, these are all warriors. When you see these people, when you eat their prasad, you all get affected by it. That's how powerful it is. That's the powerful thing of a warrior. So George Harrison had seen devotees dancing on the street, and he had heard the kirtan, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, all of you, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. So like that, he had heard this. So when George Harrison went Syama Sundar Prabhu, and Syama Sundar Prabhu was wondering who is this George Harrison wanting to meet, and he came straight to him. And he's not even asking, who are you? He said, where have you been? I was searching for you. And then Syama Sundar Prabhu said, well, we are now in London. We are 6 of us. We are here on the instructions of our Guru, Swami Bhaktivedanta. And he has asked us to spread the mission in London. So then, what was the strategy? If a big person is shot, then everybody else becomes also very much following. So the idea was, get the big person. If a big person becomes a devotee, everybody else also slowly takes it very seriously. Usually in a war, what happens? A war, you shoot the big guy, automatically all the soldiers become scared. Yes or no? Right? Right? In Mahabharata, you have seen, right? You know, if one big soldier, one big fighter dies, everybody else becomes very scared. So they don't look for small soldiers, they look for big guys. So Syama Sundar Prabhu decided that I want to shoot the big guy, and the big guy is George Harrison. And George Harrison was waiting to get shot. He was waiting. He wanted to remove his avidya, and he wanted to become a a devotee of the Lord. He was waiting for these people. And then George Harrison invited the 6 of them to his house, and he had a huge mansion. Invited, he did recording, and he made the Radha Krishna temple. It's a recording, my dear friends, which was made by, where he personally played the piano and the guitar. And the Radha Krishna temple recording, it was a big earlier in the old days, my dear friends, there was not these CDs. Now their CD also is outdated, but earlier there were big recording, and you play the demo. So the big recording he made, and there were thousands and thousands. At one point of time, the Radha Krishna album was selling thousands of copies every day. It became the top. And that recording was done by George Harrison and his team, and Jamuna Mataji was singing. And one of the things which he sang is Govindam prayers. You all heard Govindam Adi Purusha Namaham Bhajami. So when you see the sound behind, who is playing the sound? It is George Harrison. He's playing the sound behind. And this recording, and that's how, my dear friends, slowly, the Hare Krishna explosion took place in London. Boom! So New York was bombarded, San Francisco was bombarded, then London was bombarded. Boom! And it created a big explosion. When George Harrison became a devotee, everybody took the Hare Krishna movement very seriously. And more people started getting rid of their avidya. All the avidya was going, and the knowledge was coming in. The knowledge of Krishna consciousness was coming, and more people were becoming devotees. And from that time on, my dear friends, after US and New York and San Francisco and London, Prabhupada, as a powerful commander-in-chief, he traveled all over the world 14 times. And he bombarded many places. Practically, he bombarded the whole world. Africa was bombarded. India was bombarded. Australia was bombarded. New Zealand was bombarded. All the Asian countries were bombarded. Europe was bombarded. And we don't have time now. But Prabhupada didn't personally bombard, but he put a time bomb. A time bomb is what? The bomb may not explode at that time, but it ticks, tick, 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 tick. And at the right time, boom, it explodes. So what Prabhupada did, he established and he bombarded all these places. But then at that time, Russia was very close. Nobody could preach in Russia. It was powerful. They didn't allow any spirituality. They didn't allow any preaching. So Prabhupada said, no problem. He somehow went to Russia for 7 days, and he put a time bomb. He gave one book to one person. He initiated that person. That person was named Ananta Shanti Das. What was his name? The first Russian disciple of Prabhupada. His name was Ananta Shanti. Remember that. I'm going to ask you later on. His name was Ananta Shanti Das. So he gave the time bomb. He started, translating the Bhagavad Gita into Russian, and slowly distributed. And slowly the time bomb started exploding in Russia. Boom, 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 boom. And in matter of exactly 20 years, Prabhupada went to Russia in 1971. And in 1991, when the Communist Party was defeated and democracy came to Russia, Hare Krishna movement spread all over Russia. And this, my dear friends, is a beautiful story of how Prabhupada was such a powerful spiritual warrior, how he started with a small way, fighting in a small place in New York. He made his control room the New York Matchless Gift. From there, he went to San Francisco, and then many parts of America, then London, then Africa, Nairobi, Kenya, and journey plans. And then he planted a time bomb in Russia. And then there was one country which Prabhupada didn't go. Anybody knows which country which Prabhupada never went? Anybody? Which can very nice. You people are very intelligent. Yes, one place where Prabhupada didn't go was China. But Prabhupada sent his powerful commander, his disciple to China. His name is Tamal Krishna Goswami. So if and I've been to China, I've really done preaching in China. It is a very exciting place. And if the organizers give me time next sometime other times, I will share with you the Hare Krishna explosion in China. And even now in China, it is not officially allowed. But you know something? There are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of devotees in China. I went to China. When I went to China, you know what? I had to remove my shikha, I had to remove my kantimala. My wife, Kishori Mataji, she had to also not wear sari, she had to wear Punjabi. My daughter also came with us. And it was so scary. People, you can't put tilak. So I'll tell you one last story. So I went to China, and this was my first program in China. And we were late. Okay. So then we were running for the program. So then the person was the local Chinese was driving us. He said, Prabhu, there were almost around 100 devotees who have come to the program already. They're waiting for you. I said, okay. So usually when we come to India, in any of the Indian programs, you know, the number of people you come to know from the shoes outside, right? People remove the shoes. You see, oh, there's so many shoes. That means so many people are there inside. Yes or no? So when I went to that Chinese program, I didn't see any shoes. I said, what are you talking? You're telling that, the 100 people inside, but I don't see any shoes. So he knocked the door. The door opened, and there were 100 people in the room, and 100 people, and they closed the door. And so that they closed the door, there was huge kirtan. Dum, 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 dum. The Chinese love kirtan. But the Chinese government, moment there are more than 5 shoes outside your house, the Chinese police comes to your house to find out what's happening inside. So what do the devotees do? They don't remove the shoes outside. They go inside and remove the shoes in the bathroom. So nobody had removed the shoes outside. They were all shoes in the bathroom. And they were every Chinese devotee's house, they have soundproof glasses. So the sound does not go out. So Chinese devotees love to do loud kirtan. So they do loud kirtan. But there's a rule in China that moment you want to open the door and go out, you have to announce, hey, I'm going. So moment somebody announces I'm going out, the kirtan stops. There's silence. He opens the door, he goes out, and the door closes again. They start kirtan. Because there were soundproof glasses, the sound doesn't go outside. So this is how, my dear friends, the Chinese preaching began, and now it is thousands of devotees. I meet this Chinese devotees, and if you go to various temples in India, you see so many Chinese people visiting. So now, by Prabhupada's powerful, strategy and Prabhupada's powerful hard work, he and his disciples together have been capable of being very powerful spiritual warriors. And as spiritual warriors, my dear friends, they practically captured the whole world. Do you know how many temples ISKCON has in the world? Or rather, in how many countries? How many countries are there in the world? Anybody knows? There are 210 countries in the world. Okay. And ISKCON has temples in 186 countries already. So that's how, as a spiritual warrior, Prabhupada and his disciples have spread this mission. And so, my dear friends, please, it's almost time to end. All of you should learn this powerful act of being a powerful spiritual warrior. And how to become a spiritual warrior? By being strategist, by chanting good rounds. You get empowered by Krishna. How do you chant good rounds? Every day chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You hear Bhagavatam. You follow your parents. you pray to the Lord, and like that slowly you get empowered, and in your own way you become small spiritual warriors, and wherever you go you can bombard Krishna consciousness in your schools, in your friends, in your playgrounds, wherever you go you can be small spiritual warriors. Prabhupada is a big spiritual warrior. We all can become small spiritual warriors, and I'm sure all of you, my dear friends, have been very inspired by the powerful spiritual warrior personality of Srila Prabhupada. So please focus on Prabhupada, thank Prabhupada, thank Prabhupada's disciples who are also powerful spiritual warriors, and like that you can really have a wonderful time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That was an amazing class. So children, I'm sure you all really heard some amazing pastimes of Srila Prabhupada. In fact, Sridhama Prabhu is a spiritual warrior himself. So now if you have really enjoyed this session, I'm going to unmute all of you, and all of you all have to say Jai Prabhupada loudly, all right? Is everyone ready? 1, 2, and 3.
Jai Prabhupada!
Jai
Jai Prabhupada! Jai Prabhupada! Jai Prabhupada! Jai Prabhupada!
All right, thank you. That was an amazing loud roar. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for this amazing session. So children, we'll see you back in half an hour for the next session. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.